When the world's deadliest hitman returns from vacation, he finds everything he built reduced to ashes, his mentor murdered, his agency destroyed, and his name erased from the underworld. Now known only as Mantis, he vows to rebuild his empire from the ground up. But in a business ruled by betrayal, his greatest rival is also the woman he once swore to protect, Shin Jae-yi. As pride and passion collide, allies turn to enemies and old loyalties bleed into vengeance. What begins as a mission to restore order erupts into a brutal three-way war that will decide who truly owns the shadows of South Korea. In this world of assassins, mercy is weakness, and love is a death sentence. If this is the kind of recap you've been looking for, smash that like, drop a comment if you think you'd survive in this world, and subscribe for more stories like this every week. The film opens at a gas station, where two freelance assassins vent their frustration about the current state of the assassin-for-hire business. The underworld, once chaotic and free, is now ruled by MK Enterprise, South Korea's most feared assassin syndicate. Founded by Chan Min-kyu, MK enforces a rigid code that every contract killer must obey. No hit is authorized without MK's approval, and the most despised of all is the rule forbidding the killing of minors. Breaking any of these laws carries a single punishment: death, personally delivered by MK himself. No one ever dares to defy him. To stand against Min-kyu means surviving two of his living legends, Boksoon, a name that instills fear across the underworld, and the agency's chief executioner, Lee Tae, nicknamed Mantis for his cold, predatory patience and the way he dismantles his targets piece by piece, like a mantis devouring its prey. After refueling, one of the men heads into the restroom to relieve himself, unaware that his next few moments will change everything. He stumbles on a wounded victim sprawled on the shop floor. The boy happens to be a minor, and instead of calling for help, the man finishes the job to put him out of his misery. Unbeknownst to him, it's a setup. When he steps out from the restroom, Min-kyu stands there, ready to punish him for an unsanctioned hit. Meanwhile, his friend waiting in the car is long dead. He manages to escape, thinking he's gotten away with it. But then he runs into Mantis, standing tall and waiting for him with twin retractable scimitars glinting in his hands. The man laughs and lunges at Mantis. The duel ends in seconds, as Mantis delivers one swift, brutal strike that knocks him out and ends his life. Min-kyu calls and orders the cleanup crew to wipe the scene. It turns out the mission is Mantis's last sanctioned job before he takes a leave from MK. Now a household name, Mantis wants a break to carve his own path. He asks Min-kyu to hire his friend and subordinate, Shin Jae-yi, to replace him. Mantis takes a long vacation. When he's about to return, Shin Jae-yi, the assassin meant to take his place, delivers grim news. MK Enterprise is shattered and bankrupt. The boss, Min-kyu, is dead. On arrival in Korea, rival agencies rush Mantis, eager to recruit him. The scene shifts to Nam Bae-soo, a struggling agency owner for whom Jae-yi now works after failing to land the role at MK. Bae-soo cooks a special Korean meal to welcome Mantis. Mantis arrives at Bae-soo's apartment office. He skips the meal that Dok-go prepared and instead urges Jae-yi to go out. They meet their younger colleagues, Yang Soo-min, Bhumbiye, and Dong-yong at a bar. There, they lay out a bold plan to start their own assassin agency. They believe they'll climb the ladder fast simply by attaching Mantis's name to the venture. Boombi throws a curveball and suggests Jae-yi should lead the group. Mantis snaps back, insisting he will be the one responsible for Jae-yi. His protest is laced with pride. Boombi resents Mantis's protectiveness and what looks like unspoken feelings between him and Jae-yi. He says Jae-yi is already taken. Mantis's jaw tightens at the news. The bar argument heats up. A flashback cuts in, showing Mantis and Jae-yi as co-trainers. In the selection duel, Jae-yi actually beats Mantis, yet Mantis is selected to debut first as an elite killer. Jae-yi remains embittered ever since. When the conversation cools, Jae-yi voices concern about the shattered assassin industry. However, Mantis already knows who holds the leverage to revive things. The next day, Mantis heads to his former mentor's residence and finds a lively bash is ongoing. At the entrance, he meets Benjamin Joe, a brash teenager. Benjamin claims to be Mantis's superfan and hands him a business card, revealing he runs a prominent online gaming company. Benjamin excuses himself for a meeting and gestures for Mantis to contact him later. Mantis makes his way inside and finds his mentor, Dok-go. Dok-go takes him into a private room and lunges at Mantis. He braces, expecting a rough-up, but Dok-go takes him into a warm embrace. Just as Mantis relaxes, Dok-go surprises him and they erupt into a brutal sparring session. A strange, fierce reunion. They trade blows as if arch-enemies trying to end each other. Mantis then begs for the brawl to stop. He's starving. The two men finally call it and settle for a snack, slipping into easy, friendly conversation. The conversation drifts to the bitter split between Dok-go and Min-kyu. Dok-go recalls building MK with Min-kyu. With their blood and sweat, they forged the empire. However, when enmity brewed between them, he chose to walk away rather than be killed by his partner. Mantis presses Dok-go about Benjamin, suspecting that Dok-go plans to launch a new company and expects Benjamin to be one of its investors. Dok-go dismisses Benjamin as a rich, curious kid who spends money to feel important and just wants to be privy to the underworld. He does not believe the kid wants to invest for profit. Mantis seizes the moment and urges him to take control of MK Enterprise and bring it back to life. He warns that hesitation could cost Dok-go MK's greatest asset, Mantis himself, who might join a rival. But Dok-go sees through the bluff. Mantis pleads further, asking him to bring Jae-yi on board so they can rebuild MK together. Dok-go hesitates. He doubts working with Jae-yi after she left on her own is wise. Mantis insists her grievances are valid. She won their selection duel fair and square. Dok-go finally reveals the decisive detail from that duel. Min-kyu judged potential by lethal weapon skill. Mantis's aggression and precision mirrored Dok-go's own, which earned him the codename Mantis. Dok-go concludes that if he ever resurrects MK, Jae-yi will not be part of it. Mantis returns home and hears that Jae-yi went on a date. But when he finds her training on a dummy, relief washes over him. She wasn't out with anyone. With Dok-go unwilling to act and refusing to include Jae-yi, Mantis doubles down on his plan to start their own assassin agency. Jae-yi hesitates, warning that investors are impossible to find in the current market. Then Mantis remembers Benjamin. After relentless persuasion, Jae-yi finally agrees. She quits Dok-go's small agency. Much to Dok-go's displeasure, she is his only real talent. Soon, the group pitches to Benjamin. During the meeting, Benjamin acts crudely and dismissively. He's not interested in professional hits. He wants their skills redirected to design hyper-realistic game characters. Worse, he admits his attraction to Jae-yi and doesn't stop comparing her skills with Mantis. Mantis snaps, quickly ending the charade, and storms out. The team follows him, offended over his outburst. Dong-yong lashes out at him for destroying a golden opportunity out of jealousy. He abandons the team and follows Benjamin for an easier life. That night, Mantis proves his commitment. He hands his life savings to Jae-yi and trades his luxury car for a battered van to fund their startup. Jae-yi is stunned by the sacrifice, uncomfortable with its weight. She assumes he is doing it for her. Mantis insists it's for himself, for the dream of building a company strong enough to rival MK Enterprise. Hinging on Mantis's reputation, the agency secures a few clients. The next morning, he calls the team together and assigns roles by target level. In the assassin world, targets rank from level A, the most dangerous, to level D, the least. Mantis and Jae-yi handle A and B jobs. Sumin takes C and D, while Boombi, still not trusted in the field, remains confined to the office. The company is officially operating in full swing and begins executing contracts. To win more higher-level work, Mantis reaches out to Dok-go, pleading for him to outsource A-level missions to him. Dok-go agrees, but only on one condition. He has agreed to succeed Min-kyu as MK's new leader and restore the old rigid order before chaos consumes the industry. He wants Mantis to stand beside him and announce the revival at a national meeting of South Korea's assassin agencies. But Mantis doesn't think his presence will matter much now. When Mantis returns, Jae-yi pulls him aside, urging him to share missions fairly and give Boombai a chance. She insists the team needs balance and respect. Mantis has never assigned her a level A job, and the omission gnaws at her. To Jae-yi, his constant protection feels condescending, a way of looking down on others while pretending to look out for them. The private talk quickly spirals into an argument. In the heat of anger, Mantis challenges her to surpass him if she doesn't want to be underestimated. The words cut Jae-yi deeply. Stressed and furious, Mantis goes to Dok-go to vent. Dok-go finally reveals the truth behind the old favoritism that shaped their careers. His friendship with Min-kyu collapsed because neither man could stand losing. He sees that same feral ambition in Jae-yi, the drive to win at any cost. While Mantis considered her a partner and friend, she saw him as her greatest rival. After the selection duel that chose Mantis, Jae-yi confronted Dok-go in anger. He told her she could never be like Mantis. The word never cut so deep that she demands a real blade duel. But her wish wasn't granted. He recognizes himself in her, a killer who won't hesitate to be brutal to win. He warns Mantis to stay cautious. Mantis can't believe Jae-yi was willing to eliminate him. Meanwhile, Jae-yi carries out a solo mission in the field. The moment she finishes, masked men close in from every angle. Outnumbered, she doesn't hang back. She fights brutally, dropping them one by one. When she thinks the fight is over, another attacks, taking her unawares. She overpowers him and knocks off his mask and discovers it's Dong-yong. With no hesitation, she finishes him. Benjamin arrives seconds later. The entire ambush was his setup, recorded from start to finish. He uses the footage to blackmail her into joining his new company. By morning, Jae-yi's demeanor shifts. She snaps when Mantis asks where she has been all night. She reminds him she doesn't answer to him. He fires back, reminding her he's still the boss. Tired of control, she challenges him to a duel. They take it to the rooftop while Sumin and Boombi watch. The fight ends with Mantis on the ground, defeated. He reaches out in goodwill, but Jae-yi walks away without a glance. She meets Benjamin immediately after. She agrees to his demand in exchange for funding to start her own agency. Boombi follows her, leaving Mantis with only Sumin. Sumin stays loyal without hesitation. Boombi later tries to sway her, claiming Mantis' company has no future. She shuts him down, reminding him how much Mantis sacrificed, comfort, and money to build the agency for all of them. Meanwhile, Dok-go keeps pressuring Mantis to return to MK Enterprise, but he refuses even as his business crumbles. Instead, he promotes Sumin and gives her higher-tier missions to reward her loyalty. Finally, the general meeting of South Korea's assassin agencies is held. Mantis arrives with Sumin, his only remaining subordinate. The room reacts instantly. Rivals mutter as he enters, some mocking him openly. They recognize the former MK legend and relish how far he has fallen. The atmosphere shifts when Jae-yi arrives with a much larger crew. She walks past him as if he doesn't exist. He watches in silence, the slight landing harder than any insult. In the hall, Dok-go opens the meeting with a call to restore order to the fractured underworld. He proposes that MK regain the authority to punish any rule breaker across the market. The statement sparks immediate debate. Jae-yi pushes back, questioning the point of rigid rules and why MK alone should enforce them. Mantis steps in to mediate and calls for a vote on whether to allow the killing of minors and let the underworld become lawless. Most oppose it, but lack the courage to admit it openly, and the silence settles the issue. MK's regulation stands. Jae-yi doesn't reject the rules. She rejects who wields the power. Dok-go answers that punishment belongs to whoever is strongest. The claim lights a fuse in her. Without warning, she steps forward to test that strength. Mantis accepts the challenge and takes her savage punch and collapses, a symbolic submission to her power and judgment. She turns to leave with her crew. The moment they exit, he springs back up as if nothing happened. Because he upheld his role in the meeting, Mantis earns the level A target he requested. He also lands a level D job on the same day. When he reaches the level D target's residence, he discovers it's Bae-soo. Despite Bae-soo running unsanctioned jobs, Mantis can't kill him. He sees him as a father figure and decides to set him free. Bae-soo resists, warning that freeing a target breaks the freshly ratified rules and will bring consequences. Mantis fakes his death and orders him to disappear to a place no one knows. Elsewhere, Benjamin and his crew film Jae-yi for his game project. Her clean, precise skills leave him exhilarated. Moments later, Mantis receives a call from Dok-go. Jae-yi has sent him a bloodied knife. In the underworld, a stained blade is a formal challenge. She has declared a death duel against Dok-go. Mantis tries to dissuade him, convinced Benjamin is orchestrating it and playing them both. Dok-go refuses to back down. Forced into crisis mode, Mantis re-enlists with MK and asks Dok-go to let him face Jae-yi himself and force her to submit before blood is spilled. He tries to reach her, but she ignores every call. Thinking fast, he orders Sumin to spread word of Bae-soo's funeral. The funeral is bait. Jae-yi will show, and he'll use the moment to talk her out of it. At the service, Jae-yi appears. Mantis confronts her about the bloodied knife sent to Dok-go. He claims the blade came from her vicious new patron, but she insists she sent it herself. Mantis warns her to withdraw, unwilling to watch her walk into her death. She stands firm. When his words fail, he challenges her to a duel. Just then, Bae-soo makes a dramatic entrance, thanking them for attending his funeral. He has surrendered to MK, and they have assigned his elimination to someone else. Because Mantis failed to execute Bae-soo, Dok-go serves him a bloodied blade of his own, demanding he face him after Jae-yi. In a fix, Mantis seeks counsel from Boksoon. She explains that both the sender and receiver of a bloodied knife often feel the same way because it always comes from someone close. She warns that Dok-go is shrewd and should never be trusted outright. Instead of backing away, he decides to escalate the mess. He sends a bloodied blade to Jae-yi as well. Fight day arrives. Mantis calls Jae-yi on his way to have a brief meeting before the duel, but she goes rogue, refusing any contact. He arrives at the location and finds Dok-go waiting alone. Dok-go lunges without warning, declaring the duel open. As soon as Jae-yi arrives, Dok-go attacks her, but Mantis moves to shield her. She shrugs him off and reminds him that this is a three-way battle. Every fighter for himself. While Mantis fights to protect her, she turns her blades on him, determined to prove she doesn't need his protection. Steel clashes. Bodies collide with lethal intent. Dok-go disorients Mantis and faces Jae-yi. He drives her into a wall with a crushing strike. Mantis lunges at him and holds him back, giving Jae-yi an opening to drive her knife into Dok-go. Even with steel lodged in his body, Dok-go goads Mantis to keep fighting. In that moment, Mantis steps into the meaning of the word never that Dok-go once used on Jae-yi. He launches into a savage attack with grim efficiency, his speed like lightning. Dok-go has no room to strike back. Mantis carves through him with his twin retractable scimitars until Dok-go drops to the ground. He tells him to retire, unwilling to kill him, but the duel ends only in death. Jae-yi steps forward and drives the shard of blade deeper into Dok-go's abdomen, finishing him. As Dok-go collapses, Jae-yi tells Mantis he pities people without realizing his pity leaves them miserable. Yet in the same breath, she recognizes the truth. She can never be like him. He is both edges of a blade, merciful and lethal. In the final scene, Benjamin stands before a crowd, giving a speech about timing and ambition to hungry listeners. Jae-yi now sits at the top of MK Enterprise, seizing the throne of the contract killer world. Benjamin praises her rise, unaware she plots his downfall. She has already contracted Mantis to eliminate him. And that wraps up Mantis, a ruthless story of pride, loyalty, and betrayal in a world where mercy is weakness and survival means becoming the predator. If you enjoyed this recap, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss more stories of power, vengeance, and chaos.